Welcome. Welcome to our second annual Developer Day. Folks here in San Francisco, thank you for coming. Folks in the live stream, thank you for tuning in. We have a lot of exciting updates for you. We have a product launch or two. We have some AI research wins to share with you. And we're also going to hear from our amazing community members to tell you how they use Replit. But first, let me talk about our mission. At Replit, we believe that we're sitting at a very unique time in human history. For the first time, if you have access to a computer and an internet connection, and those are fast becoming universal, you could learn skills that could fundamentally change your life. We're at a moment where opportunities to massive wealth creation is unparalleled. You know, today in the world, there's about 30 million software developers. We think that's going to be a rounding error with regards to where the world is headed. Over the next few years, I think maybe 100 to 100 million people will learn how to make software. And by the end of the decade, it's probably going to be about a billion. You know, I'm a huge computer history nerd in Silicon Valley. I like to read about what happened here in Silicon Valley over the decades. But you know, there aren't that many stories. Where the world is headed, we think there's going to be massively more stories. There's going to be more entrepreneurs, more innovators, more people building the future of technology, and it's going to be a lot more exciting. But to get there, it's not going to happen on its own. Companies like Replit, working tirelessly day and night to make the tools more accessible, is what's needed. And our team has been building our technology for many, many years. You know, I started coding when I was 6 years old. And the tools have never really worked all that well. Development environments requires a lot of setup and require a lot of maintenance. I mean, you can mess up your Python environment so badly that the best thing you could do is throw your computer in the garbage and go get a new one. So at Replit, we spent many years perfecting these building blocks on their own, but also in relation to the rest of the system. And today, we have AI, cloud, collaboration. We have an amazingly scalable file system and so many other tools. And we put them all together in a way that they work to provide a consumer-grade coding experience. But you know, we had very humble beginnings. At first, Replit was basically an editor and a console. You could write a small script and run it. One of my favorite stories running this company was one day we found that there's some suspicious activity on the platform. There's a lot of traffic going to a certain project. So I go to this project, hit run, and it's a chat app. There are hundreds of users chatting. I didn't think it was possible to build a chat app on Replit, but a 13-year-old kid hacked a chat app into our system. And that's what's really exciting about running Replit. Our users are always one step ahead of us. Today, Replit, while cloud native and can run on any browser, we also ship apps. We have apps for your desktop, for your tablet, and for your phone. In 2018, Replit became the first, by default, multiplayer editor. In 2022, we added Replit AI, your partner in code. And last year, we shipped cloud services. So instead of just prototyping and building toy apps and examples on Replit, you could actually ship production software. And now people are shipping software that gets millions of users. And Replit auto-scales with you on demand. We also provide database and a bunch of other tools Just last week, we launched scheduled deployments. We can write a script that runs in a certain interval. And next week, we're launching object storage. And so it's really assembling all the different building blocks you need to go from an idea to software. Not just any software, production software that can scale. And we don't want you to start from scratch. We have thousands of templates on the platform, and some of them are built by amazing partners, such as developer platforms like Stripe and Coinbase. We also have extensions where you can bring the power of Google Cloud right into your editor. You can look things up, look a keyword or a phrase using Perplexity. And you can also take Replit with you. Chatbots like Gemini and Find can generate code, and you can export that code to Replit to continue working on it. Recently, we launched Figma to Replit. You can design a user interface on Figma, and with one click, it gets one-to-one mapped into a piece of React code on Replit. You can continue to iterate on it using AI and make it a real-world project that you can ship. It's never been faster to go from idea to software. So last year, I stood on a similar stage and presented a lot of exciting updates. And since then, we've been very busy. We became the first platform to provide a collaborative AI experience, collaborative coding AI experience. And Replit AI has improved by leaps and bounds. We have Replit AI in the shell. We have contextual actions in the editor. There are so many ways where we're adding AI to complete the end-to-end software creation experience. Also, Replit is massively more scalable today. You can bring in a 1 terabyte project, and the editor will not stutter. But all these tools would be useless without creators. So today, I'd like to invite Pietro to tell us about his Replit journey. Pietro.
Thanks, Amjad. Hi, everyone. I'm super excited to be here and tell you a little bit about what I've been up to. So since early in my career, I always knew I wanted to have a creative impact. I started as a nuclear engineer who went into design, then developing with AI, and now actually co-founding my own AI company. And since the early days, I knew that I needed a tool that I could rely on almost like a teammate instead of just a regular product. And Replit was just like perfect for that. What initially really drew me into Replit was the ability of like testing, prototype really quickly, seeing the outputs extremely fast, and also being able to test that with the world directly instead of waiting days or months. And also the ability of coding thanks to the mobile app, so the ability of coding from everywhere. I'm a firm believer that when creativity strikes, you need to have the opportunity to being able to create that idea. And thanks to the mobile app, I was actually able to basically code from everywhere. And so I use Replit as sort of like this tool to build all sort of like my early AI ideas and experiment. And actually some of those ideas and product went quite viral to my surprise. In fact, one of these was Zing. And Zing is basically a Bing AI clone built entirely on Replit using AI. And the funny story about this, it went so viral that at one point I got hit with a $6,000 OpenAI bill, which I was not expecting. But that was the validation that I can finally have a framework where I could have an idea, produce it, and quickly share it to the world. And so at that point, Replit basically became this environment for me where I could iterate, test a new idea, and to the point that even when I was at Brex, a lot of the early iteration around Brex AI were actually born as ideas on Replit. And so you can see here, I'm kind of scrambling because all those products are getting so much more attention that I actually fall. And the beauty of that is that now I went from having an engineer in my pocket to actually a marketing team and a researching team. Because once again, you have the power of sharing your idea with the audience and really see the opportunities that lay down next to you. And funny story, I actually fine-tuned an LLM on my own tweets, around 800 of them, and I asked to produce tweets in my style, and all the tweets were something like hosted on Replit, coded with Replit, shared with Replit, which was another confirmation of how much I use and love this tool. And basically then, like that sort of like new gain of confidence is really what brought me to be obsessed into creating tools that really democratize AI for creator and builder. And so I co-founded with two of my best friends, EverArt, and EverArt is basically the best place to fine-tune image model on your style, product, persona, and brand. Because as with AI, there's this huge problem of personalization, and EverArt solves that for you. And as last week, we actually launched this video as well. And as this whole thing was happening, ChatGPT announced custom GPTs. And one of the main problems with AI, once again, is that you have this incredible, powerful tool that can do so much, but it's very hard for people to understand the potential. And so my idea was like, what if I build a GPT that actually makes website for you? Not just help you, it gives you a website, it's perfectly designed for you, it's responsive, it has native support for night mode, and all of those websites were actually hosted on Replit. And once again, using Replit was kind of like a no-brainer for me because I could just focus on the experience while Replit was taking care of all the scaling and load thanks to automated auto-scale deployments. And actually, so I launched Designer GPT in November 2023. As for now, I have 300,000 users, 16,000 new users every week, and almost 1 million website created, which is, even for a startup numbers, is kind of wild. And so in a way, like, Replit really became a way for me to gain an audience. It took me, the ability to come here and speak at places like this, which I'm very excited, give me a lot of opportunity in terms of like my career. And in a certain way, like, it brought me from maybe like this passion, this extreme passion in AI to basically co-found my own company. And now Designer GPT is actually being selected as one of the very first GPT to be part of the early monetization program for OpenAI, which I'm very excited about that. And so to sort of like give back to my user, last week, Replit and I announced this partnership where now when you create a website in Designer GPT, you can actually edit it, share it on Replit, and even like, deploy on your own domain if you want it. Because in the same way that I experienced the magic of Replit, I want everybody on Designer GPT to experience that same magic as well. And Replit really shines on that. And so for me, like, my hope is like as these tools gets better and AI gets better, I really love, for Replit to like get to know me better, not only as a person, but as a developer. Almost like this example I was doing before with the tweets. And I'm really excited, as like agentic frameworks keep growing and get better to basically just like scale myself and my capabilities even more. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Pietro, for being here and sharing that. I'm really excited to see where EverArt goes. Hi, everyone. My name is Lena Vu Sawyer, and I have worked at Replit for 3 years. And over that time, I've had the immense privilege of getting to meet so many of our users and hear their incredible stories of what they've accomplished with Replit. Pietro is one of them, and his story is amazing, but he's not the only one. I've met a lot of users who have turned their ideas into apps and products on Replit, and in the process have completely changed their lives. And so I would like to highlight some of those users right now. This is Andrew Davison, and he is an automation expert. He started to relearn how to code on Replit and was building some apps, and he actually sold his app, one of his apps, on Replit, which was the first software sold on Replit. This is Priya. Hi, Priya. And Priya won a Craft Ventures hackathon with Replit AI as her only teammate. And she's continued expanding and developing on that concept that she built at the hackathon, and has launched a startup, Leica. Since, she's connected with a co-founder, and she's also received VC funding. This is Ismail. He is the co-founder of a startup called Super Agent, which enables developers to build with and for AI. And his team at first started building quick prototypes on Replit, but they've since started relying on it for more core functionalities, like hosting the back end of their API. And actually, I want to congratulate Ismail and Alan because they're just wrapping up Winter 2024 Y Combinator batch. Congratulations. Steve Morocco is a professional photographer, and He started to build on Replit with the help of our AI and our friendly interface, which enabled him to harness really crucial tools like Git and deployments that would have been frustrating roadblocks on any other platform. Actually, exactly 1 year ago today, Steve launched his startup, Data. Now, I've also met a lot of people who have found a way to use Replit at work. DevRels like Lizzie and Adam are representing companies like Twilio and Weaviate and enabling their developer communities to build and make the most of their tools with the templates and demos that they create on Replit. You can definitely catch them around the city at amazing live events, putting those templates and demos to the test with their audiences. And this is Mason Kim. He's the global DevOps engineer at Zionist, a mattress company. And his job is to ensure that the support experience for their customer success teams and for their customers around the world are smooth and pleasant. And now I want to introduce Morgan McGuire. He leads a team at Weights and Biases that builds on Replit. And I'm actually going to let him tell his story himself.
Hi, I'm Morgan McGuire and I lead the growth machine learning team at Weights and Biases. Weights and Biases is an AI developer tools company, and we help folks such as OpenAI, Meta, Midjourney, Character AI, and of course Replit to build the best ML models. We've also just launched our new suite of LLM systems tools called Weave, which I'd love for you to check out if you get a chance. For the past 15 months, my team has been building LLM-powered tools for both internal and external facing tasks and systems. We built them to help make Weights and Biases more productive, but also to learn for ourselves the new workflows involved in building LLM-powered systems so that my team can help our product and engineering org build better AI developer tools for our users. One of these tools is called Wombat, a support tool which is used in our Discord forums and community forums, which was built by Bharat, Ayush, and Dark in my team. Shout out to those guys. We chose Replit because we needed a service that let us move quickly to build, host, and test a POC, and later ship it to production. We also needed to be able to collaborate on the codebase, which Replit allowed us to do. Later, when Replit deployments came out, we jumped on that incredibly quickly. Again, it makes it super easy for us to deploy an endpoint to serve Wombat, as well as our other internal tools. By the end of this quarter, we're aiming for Wombat to provide chat and email support for a large percentage of our users and to continue the expansion of our internal LLM tools. For example, we'll probably be shipping tools this quarter to help our sales and marketing team become more productive. So that's it for me, and thanks again to Replit for building a really terrific product for developers. Cheers.
All of these creators that you've just heard about had incredible ideas, and we're really, really proud, as you can tell, to have been able to help them present these ideas to the world. I'm going to invite Amjad back onto the stage.
Wow. You know, these stories are the fuel to our fire at Replit. The reason we work very hard and we stress every details is because we hear stories like that all the time. I tell my team that we want to be building a tool that truly enriches people's lives. It's not something that you can get anywhere else, and that makes us really excited. And it's always amazing to hear all the creative ways people have leveraged Replit. So switching gears a little bit, you know, making software on your own has gotten so much better over the years, including on Replit. But making software as a team feels kind of stuck. You know, at work, a lot of our tools are live and real-time, collaborative. Think about Slack or Figma or Notion. But coding kind of largely is still this offline, lonely activity where you write up a lot of code. Maybe every few hours or every few days, you send a pull request. The pull request is massive, and your coworkers get very testy, and the review gets angry. That's a true story. It happens every day. The point is, there hasn't been an innovation in how teams make software for almost 18 years since Git was first unveiled. So today, we want to show you where we think the future of collaborative software making is headed. And to do that, I'm going to invite Ornella and Aman to the stage.
Thanks, Amjad. I'm Aman Mathur, product manager at Replit.
And I'm Ornella Altunyan, developer advocate here. As Amjad mentioned, the power of collaboration in AI hasn't impacted software development as much as it can. And that's why today we're announcing Replit Teams.
Now you can go from idea to software fast alongside your teammates at work. Let's take a quick look at what we've been building. Great. Now let's jump into some of the flows that Replit can unlock for your team. Repositories today are static, but a software team is a complex, dynamic system. As Amjad said, the traditional pull request review process is useful, but at times it can feel outdated and inefficient compared to our modern tools. At Replit, collaboration starts well before the PR. You get access to a panoramic view into your ongoing work, who's coding, and bottlenecks in real time. We help you transform that static Git tree into a living, breathing environment so you can catch and fix issues before they escalate.
Setting up your local environment takes time and configuration, and most developers work in silos on their individual machines. On Replit, you can fork existing projects, create new ones, and context switch without losing your flow. You get instant environments, which means you can have a new computer for every branch, idea, and feature. And you can fork and run a large code base in just a few seconds. Database too. A lot of developers we see switching between their computer screens, between their AI interface and their code editor. In Replit, you have the ability to plan your project, generate code, and debug any errors, all from the same screen. You can spend less time doing mundane tasks and more time solving complex problems. We even enabled collaborative AI, so you can collaborate with your teams and the AI, building off each other's code and conversations. You can stay in your flow state for faster iteration and deeper focus. And also, this really enables teams other than engineering to build and ship things quickly. We're also enabling full AI integration with your code base. We use retrieval augmented generation, or RAG, to give AI the context to answer questions that are specific to your code, your internal libraries and SDKs, or any files you might need.
When building software, coordinating between setting up your storage, databases, authentication, and all of these tools can take a really long time. On Replit, with our suite of cloud services, you can connect to all of these from one place. For example, with Replit Model Farm, you're able to access third-party generative AI libraries in just a few lines of code. We'll also consolidate all of the usage information and billing so you don't have to deal with multiple vendors or that administrative overhead. You can also save time on setting up all those configurations with your engineers. Similarly, deploying today feels unnecessarily complex. On Replit, you're able to deploy to production on Google Cloud in just a few clicks. You can also create draft preview deployments so you're sure that everyone on your team is looking at the same thing at the same time, no matter what machine they're on. Like before, all of this can be configured and managed directly in the Replit workspace that you know and love, so you can stay in your flow while deploying to a separate environment. We know how important security and billing are when it comes to bringing new tools to work. We've been spending a lot of time getting Replit ready for the enterprise by investing in things like granular permissioning, role-based access control, dedicated infrastructure for development and AI, and SOC 2 compliance coming soon.
Collaboration should be seamless, and tools should work the way your team does. Today, we still see developers copying and pasting code, sharing screens, and struggling to stay in sync. On Replit, it's as simple as writing in a shared document. You can build and ship from a shared environment with both asynchronous and synchronous options. Collaborative AI is an area that we're heavily investing in. And to share more, I'd like to invite up our VP of AI, Michele.
Thank you, Ornella and Aman. How's everyone doing? Cool. Replit team is really cool, right? I'm sure you can't wait to try it out. But I'm here for the one more thing today. So in the past year, the AI team has been working hard to create an artificial developer intelligence so that one day we will finally accomplish our vision of the 10,000x developer. As you just saw a minute ago, we recently made collaboration between humans and our AI chat even more powerful. But there is more to that. During our research work on agents, we learned that specializing AI on different coding tasks means creating a multitude of bespoke AIs rather than a single agent. As such, our next chapter will be to focus on collaborative AI. We believe the teams of the future will include humans and several agents working side by side together. But enough about theory, Let me tell you more about what we built. How often do you have to fix your code when you're developing on Replit? Now, any answer greater than 0 doesn't make me happy. So the AI team embark on a quest to repair code on your behalf as often as possible. As usual with AI research, though, repairing code is a multifaceted challenge. It's not all about quality, but also about speed. Let's start from the status quo. It has been almost a year since we've been able to repair code with Replit AI. Whenever the LSP finds an error, you can hover on the squiggly line in the editor. Replit AI will then explain the bug to you. You will recommend a potential fix, which you will have to adapt and test yourself. Our users love this feature, but they don't use it all the time for a very simple reason. It often takes 30 seconds end-to-end, which is way too long. And we hate to get you out of the flow state while you're being creative. So we dove deep into the Replit event stream, and we found out some staggering numbers. First of all, every single day on our platform, we generate hundreds of millions of LSP events. 10% of them are deterministically repairable by LSP code actions. So we propose you a fix to your code. The other 9 times out of 10, we only highlight the error for you. So we set on a quest to find out a bit more about the remaining 9 errors out of 10, and we figured out that 60% of them are covered by 20 very common diagnostics, such as indentation issues, basic syntax errors, and so forth. The remaining 30%, like pretty much every human phenomenon, is explained by a heavy tail of almost 400 additional diagnostics, which are usually hard to repair. As such, we decided to focus on that 60% as a low-hanging fruit. And we set out to build something that will address those 20 common diagnostics that will be almost as fast as an LSP. So today, I'm really excited to present the first low-latency code repair AI agent. We leverage the unique user data collected on Replit, and then we specialized a code LLM into a tool that acts by all intents and purposes like an LSP code action. but it's capable of repairing way more errors than modern static analyzers, which are usually embedded in state-of-the-art LSPs. Now, what code repair will enable is automatically fixing the code for you. Here I'm collaborating with Gian. And by the way, Gian is a human, he's a colleague of mine, he's not an AI. But we are writing code together, and Replit AI can fix our errors while we're collaborating. All of this is happening in a split second without any user interaction whatsoever. That is a 30x improvement compared to the developer experience I just showed you before. Though this might not be the final UI, you can already see the potential of having an AI teammate that helps you while you're writing code, and in this way, you can just focus on building software. As you know, no talks about AI research will be whole without talking about benchmarks, right? So on the very left, you can find Replit Code Repair, which is a 7B LLM, so fairly small. And we are as accurate, on par, or even better than some of the best-in-class models that are at least 2 orders of magnitude bigger than our model. And I'm talking, of course, about GPT-4 Turbo or Claude 3 Opus. But I want you to pay attention also on another detail. Aside from the raw performance on academic benchmarks based on lit code, we also created a new benchmark based on real-world errors. So not only I'm proud of the fact that, once again, we could punch above our weight class with a specialized model, but this time, we even distance much more powerful models on the errors that actually matter the most. That is to say, the errors that our users experience on a daily basis. If you want to learn more about Replit Code Repair, we just posted on our blog a very long report. You will find there all the technical details, and the AI team will be on X in the next few days to answer any questions that you might have. I'm aware that we are still very early on code repair, but you can expect us to use this in our product feature, and we're going to continue to make powerful tools and apply AI across the entire product experience. Thanks a lot, and I'm going to pass this back to Amjad to close this out.
Wow, that was awesome. Thank you, Michele. So this is the second time our AI team pulls a miracle, just a week or two before Dev Day. I mean, last year was the same thing. We're running training runs just even a few days before Developer Day. But now it's the same. We have a new state-of-the-art model that beats the frontier models. And they're setting the bar really high. So next year, got to be really big. I mean, it's worth emphasizing a few things about what Michele said. The interesting thing about this model is that it doesn't require any prompting. It sort of sits there. Because it's cheap and fast, it can perceive the editor state, and when it sees an error it can fix, it will jump in and fix it. Now, this is the start of something big. Maybe it's not obvious, but we can expand the kind of things that this model or other models can perceive. So it can start to look at other things in the environment. For example, it can start to look at production crashes. And when there's a production crash where a fix is possible, it can generate large-scale refactors and submit a pull request on your behalf. So we're building this like we're building everything. All the foundations we built at Replit took many months and years to improve, but we're shipping them, and this will come in the next weeks, maybe months. And we're going to improve on it, and you're going to see more agents and more workflows get automated. Our view is that over the next few years, every aspect of programming that's kind of annoying will sort of melt away. And when you're sitting coding in front of Replit, there's going to be thousands of agents maybe helping you do every specific task. So everything that's kind of boring and annoying will go away, and what's left is you. And we really think the developer is going to be in the driver's seat for a long time. But you're going to be massively leveraged. You're going to be able to orchestrate many, many agents. So that gets me to Replit Teams. Replit Teams, the significant thing about it is not just that it is a new way to collaborate, although that's very significant. It's a new way to collaborate between humans and between AIs. because we think that AI teammates are coming, and they're coming very soon. And so Replit Teams is a platform, a real-time, live, collaborative platform where you can seamlessly fork and transparently fork between projects and jump between different projects, but also AI agents can do that. So if you have an idea, you're sitting in front of your computer, maybe you're coding with someone, you can prompt multiple agents to go and fork and try different ideas, and then merge back. Your project is going to really look massively different in the future. And without that real-time, instant environments that we built into Teams, it would not be possible. So we really think about Teams as a platform where we can experiment with the future of software creation. So what can you use Replit for? Well, basically kind of anything at this point. So we built a cloud ecosystem that can run a lot of different things. And we've seen the stories today, and with Teams and code repair and the other stuff we're doing, everything will get better. But worth highlighting a few things we've seen. You can build an entire startup on Replit. You can make a lot of money, like Steve Marco or Pietro or Andrew. Hopefully Priya pretty soon. You can also do product evangelism, like we've seen from Twilio and Weaviate. You can also build bots and automation. You can really enrich your working experience by automating a lot of things on behalf of your company and your coworkers, like we've seen with weights and biases. So really, the sky is the limit. And kind of we look to you to see how you can leverage Teams, and we're excited to hear your feedback. So I'd love for you to sign up. Go to replit.com/teams and sign up for the beta. And would love to get your feedback, whether it's good, you like it, or it's bad. Feel free to email me, and you really can email me, Amjad@Replit, and I really read all the emails. So thank you so much for people who joined us today on the live stream. Folks here, we have a reception afterwards, so please stick around if you can. Thank you.